Good evening, all. I just forgot to fix the chat, so I just did it. Thanks for reminding me. It was way too hot last week, but luckily it's cooled down a little bit, at least outside. Over here it's, let's see if I can read it, 25 degrees. That's still a bit warm, but, you know, that's okay. That's doable. I think that's partly because of all the servers and stuff in the garage, so you know how it goes. But good evening, and with the chat fixed and the music, let's see, lowered. Let's lower it to something like that. Cool. Let's do the first task we do every week, and that is update KiCad, although you know you shouldn't. Okay, let's see. And then we'll have a drink while that's installing. This scene, I think, and then I do this. No, this. No, this. What? Yes, okay, good. So we're going to go KiCad. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So the last release, that's what we probably used last stream, was from 22nd of July. But there is a release candidate available now. Of course, we're going to update to the release candidate, because that's what you do, right? That's very safe. For testing version. Well, we're going to do it anyway. No, Harsequin, don't do it. No. We're going to test version 10 in this stream, so that's what we're doing. I guess I maybe should give the chat like a sort of box. Let's see if we can do that in the pre-stream. Maybe I need to add a filter. Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, let's add a filter. Effects. Can we add like a background effect, something like that? Chroma key, color correction, HDR tone mapping, image mask blending. Yeah, I know you did, Foxionaire. Transparent black background. Yeah, but the question is how to make one. I mean, maybe we can do a color correction. And then... I don't know. Select color? No. No, I don't think we need a color correction. Color key, chroma key. I don't know. I guess I could edit the chat itself, because that is just a text thing. Let's see. Oh, background color. Okay, and it gives me 4 values, so I think 1 is transparency. I'm going to save this first, because I'm trying to be smart here. Hold on. Save as desktop chat before changes. Okay. And let's see, let's set this one, the 4th value to 100. Okay. Okay. Well, it did something. I don't think this is very transparent, do you? No? Okay, so let's set that to 10. It doesn't look that transparent to me. Okay. 1? No. Okay. 254. Oh. Nope. Okay. Let's try changing something else. Setting this back to 0 and setting another one to 100. Okay. Okay. Setting it to 200. Nope. Doesn't seem to change anything. Okay, setting the other one to 100 and this one also to 100. Nope. That didn't do it. Welcome to the pre-stream, where we edit random numbers and nothing happens. Okay, 50. Yeah, this is YouTube live chat renderer background color and YouTube chat item list renderer background color. So, I mean... Nope. Okay, well, we can... we can set it to, okay, let's do this. 255. No, okay, let's keep him at 100. Let's keep him at 100. And then we're going to chroma key it out. That's probably going to be horrible, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so it's at 100. And now I'm going to add a filter. Chroma key. And then we're going to say chroma key is custom. Select black. Okay. Oh, now everything's gone. Opacity. Similarity. Okay, black doesn't work. We're gonna go for a green background. So we need to go to this, not this, and it's RGB, right? So we're going to make it 255000. Oh, so no, that's red. RGB. Okay, go. Okay. Let's make this. Yeah, it's transparent now. Not the way we want it. Chroma key. Okay, yeah. But how do we then now? Yes. I don't know. Try a value between 1 and 0. No, it's clearly like a 0 to 255 value. So we just added a transparent background to our transparent background. That's not going to do anything. Okay, this is wrong. I deleted the chroma key again. We're going to go for 0 again here. Oh, okay, we're gonna... Oh wait, we need to install the KiCad, so let's do that first. Where did it go? Oh, okay, it was just starting. Yes. Okay, yeah, sure. Go. Try 50-50-50 for all. Okay. Okay. So the YouTube live chat renderer background color is going to be 50, 50, 50, 50. Go. Oh, well, it's gray, but it's still not transparent. I mean, this gray is okay. So then let's try 0 at the end. No, then we're back to full transparent, and let's go 1. 1. Nope. No, there's 4 values, right? And the last one should be alpha. And it is, because if I make that anything else than 0, it becomes non-transparent. Try 0.5. But it's okay, sure. I'm going to try it. It's probably going to break. Wait, did that do it? Are you serious? Is it a 0? What? Okay. Really? Okay, let's finish this. Okay. Okay, let's play with those values a little bit then. 0.6. Okay, and if we now drag some kind of website in there, let's see, queenled.info. There. It's still visible. Let's see, 0.4. Yeah, that's good. A white site like KiCad. Yeah, okay, hold on. So here, this is white. Yeah, it's better readable at least. That's good. Maybe I can also make the chat a bit bigger because my face is further away. There. Let's go in between. 0.45. There. Good. But then what did the 50-50-50 do I still have in there? Let's make that 0, 0, 0. Let's see what it does. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, sure. You can still see my hands. Like, this is like transparency layers on top of transparency. Yeah, now I now have 0.45. Let's do the other one, 0.452. Okay. Yeah, I think this is what we wanted. That's good. It's still not perfect. I mean, it's always going to be like a trade-off between having the chat and everything there, but I think we can now have a little bit bigger chat, and even if stuff is below it, we can still see it, right? So that's good. Okay, cool. Very nice. I'm gonna reset my statistics here because I had some rendering and encoding lag, but that's probably because I was messing with it. Does that translate to over here? Yes, good. We now have this little box here. Good. Okay, wait. We have drinks for the week. Let's turn this one off. Turn it off. We have new drinks. We went, me and a friend went to Germany, and we bought some drinks. We have Pollen. Okay, it's German, I guess. So it's Pollen Spezi, koffeinhaltige Orangenlimonade mit Cola. Okay. So it's like caffeine holding orange lemonade with cola. And it's zero, ohne Zucker. So 0 sugar. That's good. And we have a fancy can here. This is Solo Limono Italiani Fonte di Crodo Lemon Soda, 0 sugar. I wanted to give that a try too. So yeah, that's what we're gonna drink. I'm gonna start with the lemon soda. Oh, the chat deleted itself. Okay. What are you all drinking? Good evening. Polana hosts a fine tent at Oktoberfest. Oh, nice. Your German is better today. Mein Deutsch ist nicht sehr schlecht. Oh Mann, ich spreche das nicht often. No, that's English. Ich spreche das nicht genug. I always have to switch when making sentences. I don't know the word right now. Okay, but I just don't speak it often enough. My German is actually okayish. I can make myself understood, and I can hear it just fine, and I can read it okay. But yeah, making the sentences, if you don't do it very often, becomes hard. So yeah, oft. Ja, ich spreche das nicht sehr oft. Ja, das ist das richtiges Wort, I think. Das denke ich. Okay, we're switching back to English. Back to Dutch. No, well, my Dutch is better than my German, at least. Okay, cheers. This is a big can. Oh yeah, we always get these small cans here in the Netherlands, but this is a 33 centiliter one, so... Whoa. Oh. Ooh. It's nice and zesty. Mountain Dew Baya Blast. We have some Mountain Dew over here, but it's more of a specialty product, I guess. I don't know. We don't have a lot of it. Okay. Last time we left off having designed the physical characteristics, I don't know, of this little thing here. So we figured out how big the PCB is, where the standoffs go, and then where this connector sits in relation to that. And if you can already see here, there's already some standoffs there. But we're actually going to make this a little quin boxed. because I ordered some stuff, and since it's been 2 weeks, I actually got it in. Where's my my ripping tool? Wait, where is it? Hold on. Can't have a Quinn box without my ripping tool. This lighting isn't helping because it turned blue and the ripping tool is blue also. I just need to stand up and I'll probably see it. Hold on. No. This is odd. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this cover isn't ideal. Okay. So we're first going to take a look at this guy, see what that is. Oh, okay, this is unrelated. This is, I needed to fill the order for cost stuff, so I wanted to check these out. We're getting an impromptu Quinn box. These are normal power cord sockets, but then with clamp lever. Oh, and I broke it, I think. Did I break it? Yep. Okay. Well, there's no link to this in the description, but this is probably not that good. I guess I overdid it. Well, okay. The most this one is a lot more satisfying in regards to feeling how it feels when it opens and closes. But most you need to open fairly large amount. Yeah, so this is broken. Okay, bye. Okay, I don't know about these. Maybe I was just too rough with them, but yeah. Anyway, that's not for this show. Yeah, but normally you have to open those really wide, and I guess these you didn't. Okay, yeah, this is something I did want. These are rubber silicone thingies you can insert into a PCB, and then they should hold standoffs, in theory. Yeah, I've been holding off doing a Quinn box. I'll do one at some point, but I'm not sure when yet. Because I got a whole box of, from my favorite brand, M2 standoffs. So this has lots of different M2 standoffs in various sizes, or lengths rather. And we still have this guy. I'm not sure why I'll put this guy here. Let's see. Oh, right. Since we broke one of the displays, I was like, oh, well, I only have one left, so I ordered another one. That's basically it. So this is just one of those displays we already have. The ESP32P4 Wi-Fi 6 Touch LCD 4B. Yeah, okay, good. We'll leave this in the box, but it's basically the same thing as this guy. And I actually mailed WaveShare today. Not so much that I want or need sponsorship or whatever like that, but more about these have been going out of stock. And that is probably because the ESP32P4, it was like half released for the last 1.5 to 2 years. And they recently made a new production version IC, which has changes inside of it, both for hardware design and software. So you need software adaptations or changes and also hardware changes. So I'm hoping they're redesigning it by only changing the ESP32P4 to the production version. That's now also going to run at 400 megahertz instead of 320 or 60, etc. And then they'll release this again. But I mailed them like, hey, is this going to come back in stock? Are you updating it or what's going on? Right? Because if we're designing a product to bolt onto this and they're not going to make it anymore, that's problematic. So yeah, but as you can see over here, I have already been experimenting with this a little bit, because you see standoffs here, but we'll use the new standoff kit. If I can get in it. Where's this tape? Wait, there's tape. What? They have like invisible tape. Okay, I'm just gonna rip it. There. There. Okay. Oh, they put them all in baggies? Wow. But let's say we want a M2 times 12. 12 is the length, right? So that's this one. And I've already kind of verified, because I had an M2 kit, that these are M2 standoffs that we need to use. But let's remove these. There's no links in the description right now, sorry. Well, there is to the screen, but not anything else. Okay, and let's try these. Oh, these are round. That's actually nicer. So it has these rubber grommets, I guess, or something like that. We're gonna remove those because I don't like them, or we don't need them. I'm just gonna glue them here on the speaker. There. Yeah, no, I can add them to the description, but it's not that interesting. I mean, so I believe these are M2. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah. So last stream we ended wondering if this was M2 or not. And they seem to be. But I was thinking a bit more about it, and I was like, okay, we have this screen here, and the screen is going to be on the outside, right? So this isn't the screen itself. That's a bit crooked. Okay. Isn't going to go in the wall, it's going to go on the wall. And whatever we're making needs to mount to this screen. But then whatever that is needs to mount inside of the wall cavity or inside of the box. So then, I mean, I was thinking like, how are we going to do this? Because you need some kind of push-in mechanism which will then hold the screen, mate it to the PCB we're creating right now, right? So our PCB is going to have pins, and these pins will go into this socket here, and then something else needs to be there to actually hold this in place, because you don't really want it to fully hanging from these pins, right? I mean, there's a lot of pins, so it's not that bad, but it's also not going to be very stable. If someone pulls on it, it's just going to come out, right? So I was thinking, like, we have these standoffs, and you could say, okay, well, you can screw the PCB into the standoff. That is true. That is true. That's fine. But then how are you going to mount that inside of the box? Because if you want this to be flush with the wall, well, if the PCB you're going to mount inside of the box is already mounted to this, you need some kind of mechanism there to either hold this one while you insert it into the pins, and the other one is screwed into the wall or the wall box, or the whole assembly needs to somehow click in and be held there. Magnets. You could do magnets. I looked around and I tried looking at various options, and one option that came by was these. You can't even really see them. Wow. These little rubbery grommets, I guess you could say. They're used in drone PCB construction. And what you basically do, you make a PCB, and you pull one of the sides through the screw hole, and this then sits in the screw hole, like, you know, yeah. It's held into the PCB with this little recessed area here, and then this sticks up from the PCB. And the theory is then that you can mate this with one of these standoffs. I'll do this one. Let's see here. And it's gone. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, it works, I guess. Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, you need to align these pins to plug it in, right? That's okay. But then this needs to go pretty smooth, and these need to be pretty rigid. But if I'm already struggling applying them like this, I'm not sure about that. That one went easier. Oh, this one went a lot easier. Okay. I don't know how strong that's going to be. It doesn't have to be that strong, because all force is going to be pushing on the screen and maybe sliding on the screen, and I don't know, maybe pushing one of these buttons, although I'm not sure what they're going to be used for, right? But most of it is going to be this kind of force. A rotary lock system is used. What the hell is a rotary lock system? See you in a bit there, Garrett. Nice. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we could do it like this, where the PCB is then attached here. We just need to find the right size standoffs. We can align it with the pins and then insert it, you know, like that. Because that's the only insertion method we can do, by pushing it in there. But if I'm looking at this, and if you push it in and it goes a little bit like that, or like that, or, you know, yeah, I get the idea, but I don't think these, we'll keep it as an option. But the problem is we have to do this blind, right? We have to push this in while not really being able to see it. And also the insertion depth isn't very long. And it's mechanically not, yeah, okay. It was good to investigate this. But I don't think this is the solution. The original method of the product is none. There is no solution, because this version of the product comes like this, just like we just saw in the box. So there's no solution there. And then on this version, they have this plastic shell. Let me zoom out a little bit. And with this plastic shell, you can, so this is mounted in here like that. Is it correct? Yeah. You mount this in the box, and this is mounted in the shell, and then this is mated on top of that. So, I mean, I guess we could do that. I always figured we couldn't do that, but I'm fully embracing 3D printing on this product, or on this project, right? So we could just 3D print something like this. Because their version has a screw here, here, and here. But if we just basically do the same thing, and there's the footprint of your PCB. Yeah, probably, yeah, yeah. So then we don't use these standoffs at all. Right? Because they don't use this. But then this, oh, I guess in their version this snaps together. Does it? Let me, now I need to remove these again. Yeah, but then we have to 3D print. I was looking at a solution where we didn't have to 3D print, and this would just sit flush with the box. But I'm guessing that's not an option. So if this is in here, but then how has this made it to that? It's not. This doesn't mate. So they just... So this is the wrong version, so this is not going to fit, probably. I'm not sure. They just do this. I gotta hook it under there. Okay, hook it under the top. Almost. There. Yeah, okay, this is the wrong version, so... oh no. Hold on. I need to get it out. Okay, more force. Let me get the right version. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. Okay. So their version doesn't... They have two different versions. So they made it on here. Like that. No, this would be screwed in here. Okay. Okay. So it goes differently. This is in here and screwed down. So this is in here and screwed down. And then this just goes on top of that, but it has to be angled in, I think. Yeah, because it has these clips over here. And then we have some clips over here. I think I just need to bend the plastic there. Okay. Yeah, normally, I guess they just rely on the pin connection, huh? It's not very secure, because, I mean... But I'm guessing that would be enough. Yeah, and then this, you'd screw it into the box of this. We could just have this open or whatever. There was another plate. Well, the original one... okay, this is the other one. This is the other version. It comes with this plate. But this one, I believe, came like this. So this one came exactly like this. Because this lines up pretty much, so... Now, how do I get it out again? I guess I have to bend the plastic here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was wondering what these cutouts were for. But I guess those are for the screw holes that mount into the box. Okay. Well, that gives us a lot smaller PCB at least. But I'm just trying to think how we want to do this now. I mean, I'm not against making something like this because we can just 3D print it, right? Yeah, there was on the back of the PCB, there was another plate that might lead to much better connection between the back plate and front plate. Yeah, okay. Back to magnets. No. I think we're onto something here. Because we do have these notches. Right, so these notches here. The same over here, and then this little thingy here. So we just need to get the distance. Oh man, I'm really bad at that kind of work. But then this mates together like that, huh? Ah, and that's why, okay, and that's why they had to make two versions, which I think is a really stupid decision, but okay. This connector here interferes with the case. And the other version, they left off that connector, so it doesn't interfere with the case. Right? Okay, sure, but we should be able to design something that clears that connector at least, right? Because it's not in front of the screw hole. Screw hole's like over here. So we can just cut this whole part out. Also, we don't really need this depth, I think. Well, we do for the Ethernet connector and stuff like that, but I'd want this board to mate with this board as closely as possible. And basically like this. You could talk to Prusa and get a discount code, buy 5 screens and get what? No, I have a 3D printer, that's not a problem. I do have a guy that designs my enclosures for my products for 3D printing, that's true. We could ask him. Or we could, try and source it from the community, since this is basically an open source project. But then, I mean, this footprint for the PCB, we somewhat need to follow. But we don't have to do the construction in the same way. Let me think. So this basically hasn't, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd rather, other products I sell, and maybe in the end I'll also sell some stuff of this because I do a production batch, but I plan to open source these plans as, as is, because we're designing it fully in the open also. So I'd rather source that from the community if anyone's interesting. So Gareth, let's talk about that on the Discord server, but yeah. Or Michael, sure. Oh, you have one of these boards, and it needs to go into the wall. Hey, and you, Michael Kaandorp, you sound Dutch. So that's good for me, because then it might fit in a Dutch box. Although I'm building a new house, so if I had to put like the 86 size boxes just for these things in the wall, I can do that, because I'm building a new house. I don't care. But it would be better if it would fit in various boxes, but then we'd need various 3D prints. That's not the end of the world. That's pretty good. We just need a PCB then that will fit in all of them or have some kind of adapter, spacer, something. But I guess then we should design for the smallest box. I think our Dutch boxes are actually one of the smallest. I'm not sure. Okay. So we need to adapt our PCB. For now, if this indeed stays just a pins-only connection like this, we can build a... Oh, that's wrong. We can build a testing prototype board to at least test our circuits and, you know, get started with that. And then later we can adapt it to either shrink it or change the layout because the physical dimensions need to be different, etc. I would really, really like to only have to make a single PCB, which would then fit whatever type of boxes out there, right? Producing multiple size PCBs is not going to be in scope for this project. Yeah. Oh, Johnny, that's not explosive, but that's a long question. It was so good, you're instantly number one. Nice. It's just a long question. I want to do things with the basically all the things I've complained about and we've worked on the channel. The water heater controllers for the underfloor heating, those are going to be my own design with Home Assistant and ESP Home. The lighting I want to do using diff power. Sensors, I haven't really decided yet. This is part of it. So each room will have one or maybe even two of these with millimeter wave, temperature, humidity, light, and those kinds of sensors. And then maybe buttons or switches could also link to these or directly. I haven't decided on that yet. But the current home actually doesn't do too much wrong. It's just that we need different things. So it's, and technically I wouldn't change too much except externally bought systems like Honeywell, complete crap. The Valiant for our heat pump, it's okay, but it's not great. Yeah. The Universal 85, so not 86. Aren't US boxes already smaller than this? Yeah, maybe. Nice, Coma. Good to hear it. Yeah, I mean, we can't really do everything, right? But if we can find a method... I mean, the screen also isn't going to fit a US box, right? Or maybe a double gang would. I don't know. And maybe if once we open source these PCB files and schematics and stuff like that, people can adapt it to their own. But I'd like to focus on the European market for now. US box so thin. Yeah, exactly. He has a system called Lumen Cache, Draadstaal, but I don't like some of the ways that system does some stuff. So once diff power is finished, and I've been working a lot on it this week, I've actually been ordering prototypes yesterday. That will be the system I use for most of the lights. They make it in EU and US sizes. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, maybe we can spy a little bit. Let's see how they did it. Sonoff. Wait. Oh, okay. This is not a there. Yeah. I accept everything, and I don't want discounts. Go. Oh, here we go. The NS Panel Pro. Okay, they have an 86 type, a 120 type. Oh, this is a Gen 2. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, go. What? Go away. Okay. So, okay, now chat's kind of in the way. Okay. 2-channel relay, dual band Wi-Fi. Yeah, I guess this also doesn't do PUE, right? 2 gigs of RAM. What? 2 gigs of RAM. Okay, well, that's not that much. Oh, it uses... Okay. Yeah, I don't really care about Zigbee and stuff like that. Although this has a C6 on there, so I guess in theory, since we're going to use the Ethernet anyway, you could still use this for Zigbee or Wi-Fi or whatever. It's all in there, so that's fine. Claude says these are the box sizes. Nice. Yeah, they have a square. Okay, but then we need to figure out how they did this. Okay, sure. Okay, oh, that's actually pretty cool. They have, like, the ESP Home webpage on here. Does this thing have PUE? Maybe we can stop building. No. What the? It's 155 bucks. Okay. The screen we're using here is like 50 bucks. I guess we'll end up in the same ballpark. I don't know. Let's see how they did the box. Oh, look at that. Oh, wait. No, go back. Oh, they only have a really small portion sticking out, huh? Oh, their screen is also 86 by 86. You can't see anything with that, with the chat there. Yeah, that's also not going to work. Okay, I'm going to make it less high. Something like that? I don't know, chat. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But their box is also 86 by 86, 25 millimeters deep, or 39. Oh, okay, 25 millimeters back. Okay, and they have an EU type and an 86 type. Do Windows right arrow. It's just going to go to a different screen. Oh, you mean that? Okay, yeah, no. Oh, look at that. I found a picture. Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good. Okay. So, their screen is 86 by 60. I think our screen is somewhat... No, 86 by 86. Our screen is also 86. Yeah, okay, you can't see that. Our screen is also 86 by 86, so that's okay. They're probably using the same screen. And then they have a box that is only 60 square. Could you go smaller but 2 layers deep? Yeah, sure. That's no problem. I mean, PCBs themselves aren't that expensive. That's okay. Right, so it needs to fit in a EU box. But then... Oh, okay. They make a plate here. This is the plate. That mounts to their screen. And then this mounts to the plate. But then how do you mount the screen to the plate? Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's going to be small PCB. But we can do stacked. If we really run out of room, we could do stacked. That's okay. You posted a teardown photo series on Discord. Okay, let me check that. Oh no, it's opening on the screen. Don't do that. Where on the Discord? Okay, I guess just over here. Okay, X. Go away. Go away. I don't want to. Oh, okay. Do I? Okay, hold on. Jesus. Oh, check your email. Okay, hold on. I'm going to disable the screen sharing for a little bit. There. Too many screens. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, so they have, okay, the box here. Oh, this one has buttons. Okay, they use somewhat of the same construction. So basically they make a flat plate for here. I guess we could still do that. Hey there, Greg. Okay, they have the same style of connection. So they make a flat plate. But then how does this mate with this thing? I mean, this we can easily 3D print and then screw in. That's fine. We also have the screw mounts and stuff like that. Yeah, but how does this unit mate to this unit? I guess they have these pins here. Yeah, but I don't know about that. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is the back of the screen. It's kind of the same as we have, basically. That's fine. Although, there's a lot less hardware here. Oh, there's an ESP32 on there. It's just a regular ESP32? Okay. Yeah, but this is a different panel, I believe. Sure. But, yeah, okay. So this is a different NS panel, I think, because this has buttons, and this one doesn't have buttons. Right. Okay. So looking at it again, this is basically also what we have and we can do. We can make a flat 3D print. And then, oh, I need to take the other one. We can make a flat 3D print, screw that into these screw holes here, and then we can have this and this connector. We don't need this one, but okay, sticking out. That's basically also what they did themselves, right? So we can mimic that with a simple 3D print or cardboard or whatever. It doesn't matter. That basically shields this part, okay? And then they have some clips. We also have some clips that are indeed made to be pushed in, right? So if you look at the clips, they are made to glide down, right? So in theory, you could push that into something that gives way a little bit, and then you could push the screen on top of that. Yeah, I think you're right, Philip. I think you're very right, because it's this thing. Okay, So we don't have to 3D print that. We already have that. Oh, it's not going down because I put these stupid things here. I guess for the plate, these things need to go back because they need to be screwed in. And these are distance holders for the screws. Okay, let me do that real quick. Something like this. Okay, and then this goes on here, in theory. Oh. Okay, right, so we basically have the same base. You made a desktop touchscreen out of the US standard NL-span. Oh, okay, software stack is a bit of a kludge, so if you can do better, and we all know you can, I'll buy a few. Cool, awesome. Well, we're building it on top of this, which is an ESP32P4, which is like the most powerful ESP32 currently in existence. That's going to be good. It has a nice 720 by 720 screen, etc. Anyway, so we have the same as this left side, right, with the pins sticking out a little bit, and a plate to protect all the electronics. It comes like that. Okay, but then we need to design this. Yeah, that's my problem. How do you get it off the wall again? You have to destroy it? If you clip on the back box on it now, would have a much better fit. Okay, yeah, but this back box doesn't fit. Because the side conflicts with this part, right? So this won't fit because it's made for this one. So that won't do. But looking at use the push pin as a relief lever inside the pin. Okay, so that's why this part is here. Ah, okay. So this part sits at the bottom probably, and then you jam a screwdriver in there to basically deform whatever is holding it in. Yeah, okay, that's true, Philip, that's true. Just make two lips on the point, the screw hole, small torques at the bottom. No, yeah, okay, but we have to do what they do. So I think you just jam a screwdriver in here until it releases. I think that's the idea. Okay. And then they probably made this back side. Because this is also for an 86 box, or isn't it? No, it's not. How does this screw in? Right, it screws in using these. And this is attached to the back box. Okay, yeah, and then it clips in over here. Okay. Oh, they have a plate here and a plate here. No, I think it's okay. Yeah, no, I don't want to change the design of this part, right? So we'll keep it as clip-in pins and then jamming a screwdriver in there to release it. The relay box also had a plate. I don't think so. Did it? No, I don't think it had. It did. No, the relay box is the plate. Because they have this lip over here, which goes into this lip over here. So we fit this part together. And then this doesn't want to go down, so you push it, and then it goes down. And then, how is this supposed to release? It's probably been it probably was a live stream, I'm not sure, but because I've been pulling this apart. But if I jam a screwdriver in here, is it going to release? Let's see. So we've got this here. Oh. Okay. That can work. Okay. So if you put a screwdriver in here and you twist it, you can get it to come apart. Okay. Sure. Apart-ish. And normally this would be screwed down, right? So, what do we do? The problem is this is for an 86 style box. So the thing we need to figure out right now to make our first prototype PCB to test our circuits and stuff is how much space do we actually have that we can use. We can adjust the final size of the PCB to fit a 3D printed design boxed for an 86 box or a European box or a UK box or a US box or whatever. But how much space can we then use for making that PCB? Well, there's no placing the bezel last because the bezel is part of the screen. I don't want to take this apart. I believe you can replace them with a pluggable terminal box, Vertigopolis. Actually, I have an example here on my wall. You can see it in some of my videos. Those actually have pluggable terminals, but I decided against that because of current handling. If you want to flush to the wall, it just won't work unless there's not a hole behind it. No, you can make it flush to the wall. Or it's somewhat flush at least. I mean, in this version, this lip would also sit on the wall, right? No, actually it wouldn't, because it falls inside of the display case. So only the display case sits outside of the wall. So yes, this sits outside of the wall, but since this goes into... Okay, I'm going to do it without this PCB. Into this box here, even though the lip from this thing sits outside of the wall, since it sits inside of the display, it would be flush with the wall. Well, we just have to make a box where that's cut out. I mean, you're not going to tell me it loses all structural integrity if we don't. Now, the backside of this doesn't fit an EU box, no. But you can just make this smaller, and then it would fit an EU box, right? Or, well, it wouldn't fit an EU box side by side, I guess. Sure. But that's a problem for future Queenor. I mean, the sensor panel is going into a box that sits besides it. So even if we take up room of a box that would be next to it, because it's always going to be a two-box solution, I'm okay with that, because then we'll make the plate for that box just a bit shorter or smaller. What? Take the other one with the wider pin? No, we already know that problem, Jacco. Hold on, I need to deassemble this. But I don't think that's a problem. Okay, so on this version, this box doesn't clear this header, right? Like that. So this conflicts because they have this lip here, but you can just design it so that this lip isn't there. Or you mean it's never going to fit an EU box because it is in this position? But then we have to reorient it so that it does fit an EU box. Maybe this then goes in the middle, right? And the screen just sticks out from the box. That's okay. Well, the idea is that there will be a second or a third. So we're making two PCBs. We're making the current PCB, which will be the base PCB, which has the PUE and relays and switches and things like that. And then there will be a second PCB, which is called the sensor PCB, which will connect to the first one. And that has all the sensors and sensing and things like that, which will sit besides it. It was never going to be a one box solution, because then this would block all the sensors. So yeah, sure, that is correct, Jacco. The EU solution can't be a centrally aligned box, because yeah, that would never fit. But if we can make it so that it aligns in such a way that we can have it in a two-box solution, that's okay. Are EU back boxes the same as UK back boxes? I have no idea. So stick it out of the wall further to allow the board to sit further out. I don't see why we would do that. Is there a pin header to flat cable that is almost zero thickness? Yes, we designed that in the FPC connectors. Oh, the UK is 86 by 86. Okay. Well, Michael, but then we'd also have to redesign this and somehow unmount the PCB. And the problem is the screen, I think, is glued inside of this box. I don't think that's a viable solution. I'd like to keep this part as is. Yeah, the EU's kind of circle of about 68 millimeter. Yeah, sure. Okay. But then we need to look at the alignment so that it fits on there wherever this lands, right? If like half of this part is over the wall, that's okay. Sure, but even if you get one of those boxes and it has a wall in the middle, either, cut the wall or drill through the wall and fish through the ribbon cable and you're done. Print out a circle of 68 and cut it out. Well, we can do that in our PCB design software. Plate 86 by 86. 2 is 146 by 86. Box is 72. Screws. Yeah, we would need a fairly deep box because you have the Ethernet socket and plug to deal with. And just that alone is going to be pretty deep. So that it's going to require a fairly deep box. And the idea of you know, having different backplates is interesting, because then we could adapt it to various size boxes, right? But if at all possible, I'd like to stick to a single size PCB we use for that. If not, you know, we can design multiple type of PCBs, and I'll probably only produce one, but, you know. No, that's what I said, the Maximus. For me, all of this doesn't matter. I can just have them put in whatever box I want. So if this fits an 86 box, I'll just have them put in a double gang 86 box and put those where I want the panels and the sensors. And then for our normal hardware, we can use whatever other, you know, EU regulation box. That's fine. But, you know, if we can adapt this to also existing boxes or things like that, that would be interesting. Wait, people are chatting to me. Oh, you found the original image. Hold on. Okay, so Philip... oh, wait. Philip looked back in the previous live streams. There was a plastic plate on this one also to probably make it fit nice and snug. You're right. Yeah. But I mean, as I started out, for me, all of this doesn't matter. I can just put in the box I want, and then it's done, right? But for others, I get they might be stuck with the boxes they have. So we can look at making it universally adaptable or EU box adaptable or whatever. But if that's not viable, well, then it's just going to be this type of box solution, and you'll have to buy this type of box to integrate it into your wall. Yeah, but I'd rather not have it stick out if it doesn't need to, Gareth. I mean, yeah. If we're limited to this size of PCB, that's fine. We can make that work. And for EU, we'd probably be limited to even a smaller size PCB. Sure, that's okay. I might get paid this week. Maybe, Philip, maybe. Who knows? So, yeah, what do you guys think? Should we move forward with keeping it restricted to 86 size boxes? Or are people willing to find solutions to make it fit other type boxes too? And, we can take that into account during our PCB design phase, basically, making it as small as possible. I think for now, we're just going to make it as small as possible. And then once we know how to move forward on the physical part, we can adapt the PCB to fit those physical parts, basically. Aim for the smallest size. Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think we need that much. Restricted to Dutch size boxes. It's a use failure by Waveshare to put that bigger... Yeah, that I agree on, Jacco. It would have been much nicer if this would have been even in the middle or over here, something like that, for sure. It would maybe align differently, Gareth. I don't know. Yeah. You lost your job yesterday. That's sad to hear, Greg. Aw, I hope you find something new soon. To a loss of orders. Oh, that sucks. You know, that it goes like that sometimes, but yeah, still sucks. You pasted the kind of box design on Discord that can work with 2 boards centering the display. Okay, let me check. Hold on. No, why are you here? Let's see here. Gareth posted this. Yeah, the problem is, yeah, Gareth also said, yeah, it doesn't solve the centralized connector thingy, because we need to use 2 boxes instead of 1. Yeah, I don't know about that. German boxes are the European ones, so everything is good. Taxes have gone through the roof and is destroying businesses right now in this country and have become victim and so many others. Yeah. Speaking of that, you guys know I'm working on V4 of the Queen LED boards. Luckily, we already sent those to the PCB manufacturer, but this week I had to make the decision to increase our order 3.5-fold in regards to numbers. So that's way more PCBs than we're actually going to assemble, because this weekend prices are going up 50% again. So I had to make the choice of submitting like thousands and thousands more than I'd like to, especially for a first batch, and buying them in advance, because if I don't, well, they'll be 1.5 times as expensive on Monday. So this is kind of the economy we live in right now. Everything has always been driven by supply and demand right now. Supply and demand. And that's been okay. But there's such an insane demand right now because of the AI boom and stuff like that, that there is basically never enough supply. So prices are just going to go up and up and up and up until demand breaks, basically, because the way it's going right now, it's not going to subside, it's going to break, because they're all flaunting virtual money. And then maybe prices will come down a bit again. They probably won't go to what they were. But yeah, and companies are so scummy. You buy a kit of memory a year ago for $300, and let's say it breaks right now, they're going to try and refund you the $300 because a new kit, they'll argue, costs them $1,200. But that's not true. For them, making that kit is basically still the same price. It's not like suddenly silicone or whatever, silicon is suddenly 5 times as expensive. Well, it is, because everyone is playing this price game. But, I mean, for them, the base costs haven't risen that much. It's just the margin or profit they can ask for it has risen that much, but they'll argue that they can't warranty your product because it's now too expensive. But that's such utter greedy bullshit. It's just amazing what's currently going on in the world and how it's basically outing the greed people have, where you won't even warranty your own product, like a Samsung SSD or a memory kit or whatever, because your profit has 5-folded, and now you're saying you can't do a warranty while your base cost basically hasn't changed. It's insane. Insane. But yeah. Hey, no worries, Greg. We all chat and talk here. That's fine. Hopefully you and Malachi and everyone of the family, knows how to deal with it. And even if it's bad times right now, better times will come. So that's fine. You can talk about that here. That's fine. Exactly, Jono. Yeah, the memory makers have been known scammers in that sense. SSD companies would have been better, but now they're also basically joining the club, and they're all asking what they could possibly ask instead of releasing a product for a decent profit and being happy with that. And that's why I'll never have shareholders and incorporate and anything like that, because I really, really hate that kind of practices. And I make profit, okay? I'm not going to lie about that. But I make a good product for a decent price, I think, which then has the profit in there. And even if I could ask twice as much, I don't see why I would, as long as I can have a comfortable life and have fun doing this, and, that's all good. I don't need a yacht. I mean, but other companies and people out there are such scumbags where they won't even warranty an item because they can now sell it for 5 times as much. It really gets to me. Yeah, Felix, but and I watch his videos too. I think he has some really good insights. But the problem is he made a video about that, so Samsung was pressured to do the right thing. The problem is, even if I made a video about that, I'm so small that they probably wouldn't care and still wouldn't do the right thing. And that is just stupid that you have to pressure a company to do the right thing. That really ticks me off. Oh, 2,700. Yeah. The issue, the company we've done supplied Jaguar plastic with a help. Okay. Yeah, you can't be too greedy. But some companies are getting away with it right now, and that kind of sucks. But yeah, they already sold everything for 2027, so they absolutely don't care. And that's the problem, right? Supply and demand is a fair system, but it's currently broken because there's the same amount of supply, but 10 times the amount of demand with virtually unlimited virtual money. Yeah, I mean, it can't go on like that forever, but while it does, you and me, we're kind of stuck with that. And I'm really trying to prevent becoming part of the problem, but my costs, some components triple the cost, quadruple the cost, whatever, and my production has gone up 100%. So PCBs and assembly and things like that, right? Because they have plenty of offer. So to make my product, although it doesn't cost them more, they can make more money if they make someone else's, if I'm not willing to pay it, right? So I'm kind of stuck having to pay it, or scaling up my orders to such a large amount that although the price increase is then lower, it's still increased, because of the volume, it's easier for them to do. So then it evens out again in regards to the profit, and I can have them make my stuff. But in the end, it's all, going to raise the prices. So you should open a chip manufacturing company. Yeah, that's not. If you don't mind me asking, Quinder, what are your thoughts on these massive AI farms taking all the raw materials? Yeah, I am a big, I am very positive about AI. I am so positive, actually, that I'll say that this is the next revolution after the internet in regards to knowledge and knowledgeability and capabilities for humans as a whole, right? The internet did a lot for that before we had libraries, and now the access to information for everyone in the world is so much better since we have the internet. And I think AI in part is going to enable humans, individuals, and humanity to do basically the same thing and have another leap in that, basically allowing an individual to do much more than he was capable of before. Even though he'll understand some parts less, I get that. But the way AI companies are pushing it forward, that's not something I agree with, right? The greed and the virtual money, and basically they don't care whatever else they wreck while building it. That's a problem I have with that. And the noise from AI data centers and the electricity usage and the water usage and things like that. The only reason they're using so much water is because it's cheaper to do evaporative cooling versus closed loop cooling with radiators and stuff like that, right? They don't have to use evaporative cooling, but they do it because it's cheaper. And that's wrong. That's the problem, right? And at some point, scale versus capabilities will win. At some point, we'll have chips that use like 1/3 to 1/4 of the power. We'll have much more memory for cheaper. And the models and everything will be that much more intelligent that it actually uses less power or compute. And that'll catch up to each other. But we're not there right now. And yeah, I mean, I make use of it. I'll admit that. But the way they go about it, it's kind of, I don't agree with that, right? They're trying to push it forward so hard, despite whatever else it destroys, and I don't think that's the way to do it. But that would mean slowing down progress there, and I'm okay with that. But yeah. Yeah, cooling in space, that's a whole different discussion, I think. Power, sure, with solar, because the solar panels are going to be more efficient, but we'll see about that. Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's, again, it's greed, and I get these companies are trying to push forward, and I truly see the current levels of AI we have available for a common person as a leapfrog event in human history and evolution. But it has a lot of downsides right now, and at some point those will become less or go away. But that's not right now, and it's doing something despite the cost to others if you don't have to care about that. Yeah, I don't agree with that, right? You don't have to do that. It's because they want to replace their workers. Yeah, so maybe that's part of it. I don't use AI, or at least not for anything physical labor related, stuff like that. But I mean, I built some websites where AI was involved, and I didn't hire a person to do that because with the AI, I could now do it myself. So yeah, there, I get it. But the world, we discussed this previous stream too. The world will change, whatever you do, right? And the same thing happened with machines before that, and the Industrial Revolution and automation after that, and things like that. So I'm not too worried about that part. Yes, it'll impact a lot of people, but something else will come from that. But yeah. Sorry, I need to re-chat a little bit. Yeah, Johnny, to come back to your argument, exactly. I get they did it for Louis Rossmann, but they probably wouldn't even do it for me. And I have like 65-something thousand subscribers, so that's not really a solution or them doing the right thing. That's them just bowing to public pressure, and that's kind of useless, right? If there's no crash before your next order, it will be 100% or more again. Yeah, so that's kind of, I'm luckily in the position that my company, Quinn LED, blah, has been doing well. So I can spend like 10, 20, 30,000 extra dollars right now to have more PCBs and components made and components bought and whatever, to basically try and preempt whatever price hike is going to happen in the future, because I don't think the crash is coming in the next 2 months, maybe in 2027 somewhere, but I don't think it's coming this year, that prices will actually go down again. Hopefully next year, but it could be the year after that. I don't know. So I'm luckily in the position to be able to do that, but a lot of guys won't be able to do that or won't be able to pivot fast enough, and then, yeah, then you're stuck or dead. Yeah, companies. I also agree with that. That some companies allocate money in very weird ways, where some manager who basically does nothing gets like 100 million bonus, and then at the same time they're cutting wages because they can't afford it. And it's also like these companies, all of these companies who do periodic price raises, sometimes they'll put out two statements in the same week. They'll say, first, we made record profits, like the best profits they've ever made. And the second statement is, it's going so bad we have to cut wages or nobody's getting a raise. And I'm like, what do you mean? You made record profit. Why do you need to... Can't you give these people a fair wage? Makes no sense. It's just all greed. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to chat. Yeah, no, sorry, Greg. I already outsourced all the production to China, and I've been very happy with that. So it's gonna stay there for now. Uh, yeah. Well, no, capitalism in itself isn't a bad system. The problem is that it's being taken over by greed, right? It's the companies asking what they can instead of asking for a product, instead of asking what they should to be a viable and healthy company. And asking what they can so they can make their millionaire, billionaire shareholders even more profit, that is the problem. So the problem is greed. The problem isn't capitalism in itself. The problem is the structure. I'm going to reference America here, where anything goes as long as your shareholders make more profit. So basically, what I've been seeing, and we've discussed this before too, is they buy up a startup company which made a very innovative and well-working product, like, I don't know, Lyft or Uber or whatever, for instance. They buy it up for hundreds of millions. They basically strip it completely. They drive it as hard as they can for 5 years, where they then make 100 million more than they invested in it. And then they say, okay, we made a profit. The company and the service it provided is now complete shit and broken. Doesn't matter. We made profit. Profit is profit. Our shareholders profited. So, perfect. But then all the services we as humans need to live are going to shit because of that profit and basically that greed. They don't care about providing a good service. The original founders who made that company and made it what it was and as big with delivering good service for a good price, they did, but they've been bought out by money. And then those investment companies, they just care about profit. It's the exact same thing why I left a hosting provider I was for 10 years, because they got bought up by a investment company 3 years ago, and I was now paying 3,500 euros per year extra for nothing. So I moved everything to another provider, and that saved me 3,500 euros a year for the exact same service. So it's just greed. They just started to raise prices every half year, 20%, 30%, each time again, for no reason whatsoever than basically strip mine the company as quickly as possible so that they make more than they put into it, and then that's a profit and all is fine. And they bank on people sticking around anyway because they raise the prices slowly because it's too much of a hassle to move away. It's just shitty, greedy practices. It's not. It's nothing to do with capitalism. That, yeah. Shareholder profits is what you meant with capitalism. Yeah, true, sure. Having a great time, but I guess we'll open KaiCat next stream though. Sorry, this kind of stuff just gets me going. You'll see with the secret I'm going to share at the end of the stream, which is a perfect example of this. I actually did something about it. So yeah. He has one for Quinn doors in UK, water system, sewage and water filtration for houses, and was not owned by a bloke in America who lives in Manhattan in the USA. What? Okay. Yeah, it's just about making a profit, and they really don't care, right? Exactly, Johnny. Inkjet printers, same deal. Yeah. I only own Brother printers because they have good drivers, they have Linux support, and I don't think they're being too bad with the ink. Or I have a laser printer now, but I've generally liked their products. They've been pretty good. No need to say sorry, it's a great stream anyway. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, Netherlands internet providers also do that. So I'm with an internet provider that has only raised prices twice in the last 5 years, and then I've gone from $37.50 to $40. Okay. And the only reason they had to do that is because the transport provider for their fiber raised their prices too. So they raised their prices with the same amount, right? And that's fine. They're allowed to make a profit. And if your costs go up, well, you have to raise your prices too. I can live with that. That's perfectly fine. I pay $40 a month for a gigabit up and down. Perfectly happy with that. Excellent. But yeah, other providers certainly do not act that way. And we can do another user mod compile stream at some point again. We can even use AI. If you ask AI, it'll compile it for you. If you use something like Claude Code. What is the maximum speed you can get for internet? Oh, there's actually pieces in here. I don't know about that. Okay, let's open the other drink. Yeah, I have a gigabit for $40. Gigabit is pretty available here in the Netherlands nowadays. There are places where you can get 2 or 4, even 10 gigabit on XGPON, I think. But yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah. Yeah, Queen, Freedom is probably a fair one. I went to oh god, I don't even remember their name. Let me look it up. They're a nice provider. Glasnet. I believe it's Glasnet. Hold on, let me look it up. I don't mind shouting out nice people and providers. There, okay. I went to these guys. Glasnet. Yeah, that's not gonna show anything, huh? I'll use the trick again. There. Glasnet, they're a very simple provider. They're not bought by an investment company. And they've been excellent for me. Honest prices. Oh. And one of the things they offer is one of the things I appreciated a lot is they don't add a router. You just get a media converter. And that's it. You get a fixed IPv4. Okay. Can I see more? No. Yeah, so they have a own router option, and then you can use whatever Wi-Fi access point or router or whatever you want to use. You can get one from Fritzbox or Draytech, fine. That's perfectly fine. But I use my own router. They supply you a media converter with an SFP, and that's it. And you can run whatever firewall you want to use, and etc. And they actually lower the price too, because you don't need their router or support or anything like that. Yeah, Freedom is pretty decent. Yeah, I don't like companies like Odido or KPN or something like that. 10 gigabit for 300 bucks, 25 for 1500. What? No, we don't need that. My PC is not able to browse at, I don't think it's even able to browse at 10 gigabit. I mean, yeah. 10 megabits for 40 or more or less. Yeah, that's not that great, but how close to 1 gigabit are you guaranteed to get through? Only 50 to 60%. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I guess you can see my IP now. Oops. And this is while I'm streaming, right? So yeah, exactly, Queen. I don't like those. My mobile phone provider is KPN, but you have to get someone. But yeah. Yeah, generally I'll see a little bit higher upload, but maybe because I'm streaming, it's a bit limited, I guess. But yeah, 932 is 754. That's fine. Oh, 10 gigabits for 40 bucks. Wow. Well, my stream is only 32 megabits, right? So, I mean, I'm fine with... I don't even mind asymmetric upload. But I like having like 400 or 500 megabits, especially for backups and things like that. So right now I have the gigabit. I don't have to worry that my backups are running while I'm streaming. Before I would have I have a MikroTik router, so I had a little thingy where I could toggle it that while I was streaming, my backups wouldn't run because I had like 50 megabits up and I would stream with like 30 megabits. So as soon as 1 or 2 backups in the house would start, they would saturate my upload. But with a gigabit, I don't have to worry about that, right? So. No, I basically always get above 900, and when downloading something from Steam, I get like 100 megabytes a second easily, 105, something like that. Yeah. But the reason partly for that is I don't use a provider modem. I have a very fast MikroTik router, basically plugged in directly to the internet. So, yeah. Well, Foxionaire, that's a whole different discussion, and I don't agree with 50 megabits is plenty for everyone, because your experience also changes. If you've been on a 50 megabit, 100 megabit, or a gigabit connection with a fast PC, you will notice a difference in browsing and things like that. If you don't, that's fine, but yeah. And then there's things like Steam downloads and backups, and after this stream, there is a 40 gigabyte backup happening, right? Because I back up all my footage to my parents' home, for instance, where my backup server is. 50 for a gigabit, that's fine, yeah. Oh, you're wireless. I mean, I'm not saying everyone needs it. If you really only have the base Netflix subscription and that's what you care about, sure, 50 megabits is fine. But I do a lot more of that. And yeah, even just for this streaming, I stream at 32 megabits to YouTube in AV1. And you could say, oh, then you only need 50 megabits. Maybe. But as soon as something else happens, that's going to lag and that's going to sag and whatever. So you want at least triple the bandwidth, so 100 megabits. But so, I mean, there is reasons for more bandwidth. I know this stream has been derailed completely, absolutely derailed. We haven't even opened KiCad yet, and we're 2 hours in. So, I mean, you know. $56K. I remember having a $56K modem, okay? We're all loving it here. Good, good, good. We were talking about these boxes, because that is an important subject, right? Someone said the EU box is basically an 86mm circle. Yeah, sure, Philip. And if it's a decent price, that's fine. Yeah. Let's see. We should open KiCad a little bit. Here it is. Here is KiCad. Let's see if we can draw an 86mm circle and then try and design it on there. I think I clicked it. Maybe I didn't. Uh-oh. Error loading PCB. Oh, okay. I opened it in the wrong version. Hold on, hold on. What? The new version isn't there. Huh? I guess this one? Let me see which version this is. About. Oh, okay. This is 10.06 release candidate 1. Okay. Now we're trying to draw the smallest PCB size we can, right? Because last time we drew this. 7, the 3D model could not be met. Oh, okay. I don't care. Last time we drew this, but that is the mounting backplate for this whole thing, right? And that's basically not going to work. So I'm actually going to copy this PCB file. And I'm going to rename it and say screen board outline. There. If I ever want to get it back, I can get it back. So we're going to the edge cuts layer. And we can draw a circle. Yeah, and it says the radius of the circle here. I need a different 1mm. Okay. I don't think that doesn't look correct. I guess it needs to be half, so 34. Does 34 sound better? Radius diameter, yeah. So, if it's not 80, what was it? Okay, I'll have to look it up. I don't know. Can someone look it up? Dutch. Nederlandse muurdoos stroomdiameter. Oké. Inbouwdiepte. 86. So it has 68 hole saw depth. Okay. Module 55. Fonctionnaire, they're translating what you're saying. I saw the Dutch appear. Oh, if I hover over it, it translates it back. That's Claude from earlier. Okay. So 60 millimeter, 68 millimeter hole saw. Depth 40, screws are 60. So if the screws are 60, and we need to screw into the screws, or I mean, no, it needs to sit inside of the screw mounts, because the plastic frame would go onto the screws, right? So how large do we have inside of the so the hole you need to drill is 68 millimeter, and the inside diameter is 65. The screws are 60 millimeters apart. Okay, M3. Okay, that's good. So if the screws are 60 millimeters apart, and we're going to screw our plastic frame in there, I guess we need to keep it 50 millimeters. 50 millimeters wide, maximum. Does that sound reasonable? Do we have an image here somewhere? Yeah, because what I'm talking about is if we have a box like this, even though this might be 60 millimeters, we were going to do a 3D printed whatever that we screw into there. So then our PCB can only be like 50 millimeters. Screws need to be cut out of the board. Well, maybe we can keep the whole board inside, right? I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to try and design it smaller. Yeah, sure, but I want to try and make it smaller if possible. Okay. Oh, we don't need all of this. Okay. Although I guess other things do it like this. No. They have a plate that they screw on there, and then you have this inner room. But I basically want to know what this inner room is, right? Because this will be our plastic frame that our PCB somehow attaches to. I don't know yet. Maybe you can take the size of a Shelly. Yeah, I don't know. I figured this would be pretty easy to find on the internet. Currently, we have these boxes. I know that. Okay, 50 millimeters deep. That's fine. Don't they have a data sheet or something? They're in the wall. Yeah, and no, I know, but stupid. Give me a data sheet. Give me a product number. Binnenruimte, okay. Okay. Oh, these at least have a product number. That's good. Do they have a data sheet? All product specifications. Okay, no. Why is this so hard? It shouldn't be this hard. What is this? Just give me... okay, so they actually have drawings. Okay. Shelly seems to be 42. Okay. Let's see what's in here. Do they also have a PDF? Okay, so it seems we have drawings, but I can't open these drawings. Come on. Oh, Michael is getting a box. Nice. Tell Claude to render an STL for you. Maybe after the stream. That's actually funny. We're going to print one. No. I mean, I can't be the first one with this question. Ruimte tussen de schroefgaten. Oké. Hard op hard afstand voor de 60 mm. Voor M3 or M3.5. Oké. Claude says it's 54 millimeters max, okay? But 50 millimeters is safe. I don't think we can import the DWG in KiCad. I don't think that's a thing. Hey, Stefan. We were trying to decide what size of PCB we could mount in a standard Dutch box and then still have a plastic frame around it to mount into the box, right? So we're going to have a plastic printout, which will then hold the PCB, which will click something else on it. But we kind of need to know the smallest or the biggest size we can design this PCB. You've put a picture in Discord. Okay, let me check. Okay, yeah, this is good. Open in browser. There. So, centimeters, yes. Okay. So it is about 55, I'd say. So if we stick to 50, that might be good. How do we feel about 50 round? That should leave us plenty of space, right? Yeah, I guess AI also said 50 round, so 50 round is 25 then, I guess. Yeah, 50 gives enough for 3D printed box, yeah. Okay, so we're doing a 25 radius. Whoa, okay, that's a bit small. Okay, save the project. 50. I guess Philip is done with this shit. Because, I mean, if we also want to have the connector on there, and we want to have it fit in an 86 millimeter box, which I guess this would do. right? So if we want to, oh God, I don't have the measurement tool again. Measure tool, there. This was 86, right? Oh, it's 75. Yeah, okay, that fits in an 86 box, right? So if we could design it on here, that's going to be tight. Can I move? Yeah. Something like that. If we wanted to fit both boxes, it would have to be like this. Poor. Looking at what's over here, I don't think that's going to fit on this round circle here. Well, it's a secret related to the discussion we had earlier. Oh, this also needs to go on. Is a 3x layer? Yeah, it would have to be. Whoa. One at the start and one at the end, instead of making us wait. Yeah, that's the YouTube way. Oh, man. What do you guys think? I mean, this is never going to fit. We could do a multi-stack layer board. Yeah, those boxes are too small, yeah. I mean, that is a conclusion, right? That's a conclusion we can have, that a EU-size box is just too small. Because looking at this puny little circle here, and looking at the hardware we want to put on it, that's not going to work. I mean, on this one, this will work if we put it all on here. That's going to be fun. Even a bit smaller, but change to centraal dozen. What? How big are those? So how large, Gareth? Okay, I mean, discussion aside, this is never going to fit, right? Even if we just take the solid state relays we want to have, and we want to have this Ethernet socket, even that already almost doesn't fit. And then we have some terminals or these or the FPC connector needs to go somewhere. We could put this in an angle, I guess, or put it over here. It needs to go on the side, so that doesn't work. Okay, let's put it on this side, I guess. And what's this? Oh, this is our transformer. Okay, yeah, that needs to go somewhere. I mean, nah. Okay, measurement tool. Did I do this wrong? Is it just this small? It's just this small. Okay, that's 50. Yeah. Well, we could do a stacked board, right? We could potentially stack it, but that's going to be really complicated. And this Ethernet socket, does it have a 3D model? I don't know if we have a 3D model for this one. Let me check. No, we don't have a 3D model for it, but it in itself is like 1 to 1.5, 2 centimeters high, right? So we couldn't have a stack on top of here. So we'd have to have pins that go to the other stacked modules. And then we could have some of this stuff on the stacked modules, but this stuff itself also has height. Like these relays are like 2 or 3 centimeters high. So, I mean, that's just not that's just not. Uh-oh. Are we crashing? No. What are we doing? Uh-oh. Okay, KiCad is sending us a message. Oh, our circle is gone too. Okay, that's fine. 1 millimeter spacing, circle. No, wrong layer. 25. No, that would create all kinds of signaling issues. I test things. Yeah, no. So I think currently the conclusion of this stream would have to be it will not fit in an EU box, right? I just don't think it will. Oh, no, these are solid state relays we picked. So let's see here. So it's this style, right? So they're very flat, but they are about 2 centimeters high, right? Let's say 2.5. So yeah, you need that depth, right? But we also have the Ethernet sockets, which are also that high, so that's fine. But yeah, and then you have these screw terminals here. Those are high, or fairly high. And these screw terminals here, they're like 1 centimeter, a little bit less. We got a temperature sensor, but yeah. Yeah, even if we make this dual layer, so if we have components on the front and the back, I still don't think it's going to fit. We could probably get all the ICs on there, but you're going to run into issues with vias if you do dual layer construction. 47 millimeters. But this is 50 millimeters, so... Well, I don't have the 3D models for all of this in place yet, so... no. Oh, it rendered it as a cutout. Okay, so yeah, we have some terminals here. But most of these things don't have 3D models yet. So... that's not going to tell us much. $37 plus $47, yeah, but then I'd rather just use a bigger box, right? I think the conclusion needs to be it will not fit an EU box, whatever you do. And we can try and keep some of the components on the EU size, so that can go into the wall, and then this can be outside of the wall. We can try and work on that. Does a 28-pin connector even align with your circular PCB? Well, it could go here. I mean, that works. Where then the screen ends up, that's a whole different question, right? That's, you know, especially if you have like 2 of these boxes, those would sit somewhere like this, right? Because there's the screw holes and other things in between there. So probably even more, hello? Probably more like this. But yeah. The boxes used in the wall were square ones. They seem bigger. Okay. These are the exact boxes I also have in my wall. Yeah, so, I mean, as I said, for me personally, I can specify whatever box I want. So, well, I mean, how does the Sonoff, for instance, actually fit? Sonoff. Yeah, okay, I guess the Sonoff does fit. Problem is they also don't have PUE and stuff like that, probably because of the same reason. They can't get that to fit. Okay. Yeah, if you look here, the stick that goes into the wall is very small here. Well, I don't see a problem. I mean, I want to create this product with this screen, right? And if it just can't be done otherwise, that's just the thing. Then it can't be done otherwise. Will that maybe limit sales? Sure, but if I have to adapt the product into something I don't want for myself to be able to fit into there, then maybe you have to buy this, right? The product needs to be good as a product for what it does and the attendant function is. And I don't want to compromise too much on that. So if I have to put different boxes in my wall for that, then that is what it is. Oh, things can be done when you have a twin door. German VDE flush mount boxes. Okay, let me look that up. Okay. Well, that's certainly big enough. Oh, whoa, okay, that's way too big. €123. Is it made from gold? Oh, €4. That's better. Yeah, something like this. And then it would easily fit, right? What's this? 195 by 152 by 70. Perfect. Go go. No. No. Leave me alone. $4. Perfect. The small area. That's what I'm thinking, Foxioneer. The people who might also want to buy this are also people who are going to have to run a new line anyway for PUE. Because most people don't have PUE or Ethernet in their walls, right? And in the Netherlands, for instance, most electrical lines run to a central box, so it's not like they can get PUE from there. And if they're running a new line to wherever they have network anyway, because this is a PUE-based product, right? Putting a different size box in isn't going to be the problem. Oh, okay, cool. Check the box from Kaiser Group, okay? Was it? Did we see it earlier? Kai. Yeah, this is the same diameter though. Oh, they're saying plus 25%. Okay. Okay. Amazon. Okay. Yeah, but if people need to put in a new box, then why not design it easier for the box the product is designed for? I mean, right? If they need to put in this box, then I just want 86 box. Oh, that's cheap. $47.99. That's cheaper than on AliExpress. Oh, it's an S3. Oh, okay. So they have a 2-gang one. Oh, this is a bit built up. I want built in. I guess this is built in. Need to get some sleep. See you next time. Later, Ryan Hoppa. Ryan Hoppa? Yeah. Oh, the other Kaiser to the right. Okay. You mean this one? Conclusion of the stream. Box is small, board big, large corporations greedy. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, then if we're gonna use a custom box, we're just gonna get an 86 box, because this product is made for an 86 box. All right. I mean, in wall. Do they have an in-wall box? Inbouwdoos? Opbouwframe? No. Oh, here we go. 86 by 46. Blue, don't care about that. It's not watertight, don't care about that. Oh, they have different colors. Who cares? Oh, you can link them together, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, and about the ribbon cable, if we have a PCB in this left side over here, you can just punch out one of these and then put or one of these, I don't know, and put the ribbon cable through there into the other box, I'd say. So. We finally wanted something nice. Yeah, but I mean, in the end, we just need to know what to design for. Oh, the red ones are more expensive. What? Something like this is fine. Top Homer. It doesn't exist. Aw. Holle wandmontage. What? No. Yeah, something like this. Oh, it's not. Okay, they can't. Smart home switch. Okay. Opbouwdoos. No, inbouwdoos. Damn it. No, that looks US. Let's look at the images. There. This, I don't like this list. I guess something like this would be fine. $18. Holy shit. Yeah, Gareth, that's something we can certainly try. So let's delete this circle. So we'd have to put the large stuff in this circle somehow, and then all the electronics around it, I guess. So basically the deep stuff needs to be in the circle. That's what you're saying, right? Let's see what... Go to site. Oh, Philip has bigger boxes. But then how do you screw in a wall plate? It doesn't have any screws. They are clamp ones. Oh. The night bridge, I'll look that up. $20. Oh, wow, metal. We don't need metal boxes. No, no. Again, if we're going custom box, whatever. We can just use the right box. Well, centered. What do you mean centered? I mean, we can check. So the Ethernet can go, I don't know, here. This would need to go like probably we'd have to rotate some stuff, but oh wow, we're crashing again. This release candidate maybe shouldn't have been released yet. And we're back. Okay, let's try this once more, and after that we're done. Edge cuts, 25mm. So we're going to do it somewhat like that. I'm going to see how Philips box works, because this makes no sense. Go away. Oh, and you have to add a frame to it. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Completely different again. So we put this somewhere over here. We put one here. We're already running out of space. We put this here, but we need the screw terminals too. So, and it can't be in the side. They can't be in the walls of the box. And they're going to potentially be carrying AC. Okay, let's move this away. Okay, so let's do this here. Right. And there's like this thing. There's these two. And we can change, you know, the physical size of these, and this we can't change in physical size. This is just how large it is. But the screw terminals we could these are now side mount, so you have to plug in a connector over here. We can change those to plugging it in from the back. That's probably better, actually. So then these become a little bit smaller. For these, we could do that too. But, I mean... I don't think that's going to work. That's not in the circle. No, I know. Drop the fixed connector. What? The fixed connector isn't in the circle? What do you mean? I'm confused. Hey there, Pepsi. The one we can't move. Those are these two. These two we can't move. These need to stay there. I have some plans for the ESP32S31 Byron MP. Those are low profile, so don't need to be in the circle. Okay. But then, oh, okay. I think I'm starting to get what you mean. So if we... I can't select this circle for some reason. Oh, there we go. Okay. If we move this circle to, let's say, in the middle. Middle-ish. There. And then let's add this guy. We need to connect, we need to change these connector types, but okay. And let's move this one here. with the terminal here. And this terminal somewhere over here. There needs to be a fuel gauge in the corner of the screen that goes up every time it takes a sip of his drink. Yeah, and the Minecraft sipping sound. The connector needs to be outside of the circle, making the need for a raised enclosure, but I guess that's the only way. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, it's still in the circle, sorry. So, no. Can we do that? Well, I guess we can do that. So like that. Because we can't move it in relation to this, right? So, okay, let me save this real quick and go back to the PCB editor because we're going to change some stuff. We're going to go to Assign Footprints. And we're going to look up the connectors. Screw terminals, yeah, this one. And currently we have the this one, so we can look at it in 3D. Somewhat, okay, so this one, but we want to have the pluggable or connector. Where are we? I'm going to search for pluggable. That did not do what I wanted it to do. No, that's not. Is this? Okay. 3.81. Yes, this is the one I want. We can look at that in 3D, I think. Yeah, so then we get this type of connector, right? So you can plug in the mating part, and it takes up less room on the board. It just goes a bit deeper. So I think that's better, but we need the 2 version. So this one too, and then for these we need the 4 version. Oh, I'm not sure we're now. No, I'm getting tired. P3. No. What? 109. Okay, no, we need 104. Let me see if that's the correct one. Yes. 1010. No, 104. Okay, let's save that real quick. Let's go back to the PCB editor. And then we need to import those changes. Okay, and now you can see that these are smaller. And if we look at the 3D viewer, it's going to render as a cutout right now. That's fine. You can see these are the blocks where you then put in a mating connector, right? Like these are also used on the Dig Octa, for instance, and stuff like that. So you plug that in there. If you don't use a standard box, you need to supply it. Okay. These are low profile, so don't need to be in a circle. Yeah, I think I get what you mean, Gareth. So we can try and keep it in that circle. So now these can go a little bit up here. I'm going to cheat a little bit with the circle. No, it shouldn't be in the exact center. No, that's the whole issue. And it can't be in the center, because then it'll intersect with these connectors. Now, let's see. We can move this to here. Circles are shit. Sorry about that. Circles don't fit any crap at all. Oh, okay, that's good, that's good. Something like that, maybe? And then this can go... we're going to cheat. We're going to cheat here. Because we only need the 50 millimeters between the screws. The other parts of the box should be a bit bigger. So we can cheat a little bit. Okay, and we're going to... Oh, man. We're going to do this. We're going to make it 45 degrees. And we're going to make it red. It doesn't matter. It intersects a little bit. That's fine. And then we need this guy. Because that's our ribbon cable. And... Yeah. Let's see. Did we get all the big stuff? I guess so. No, the temperature sensor is also a bit larger. We can stick that down here. It's going to be a routing nightmare, but okay. And then this guy goes here. Maybe, but this is going to be a routing nightmare. But okay, I'm willing to give this a shot, because everything else, let's see, this is all PCB. What's this? Okay, this is flat, that's flat. This is all flat. This is a little bit less flat, but still flat-ish. Flat, flat, flat. That's all flat. That's flat. Okay. So I think... You mean a routing challenge? No, at some point, things will be a routing impossibility. Because if I want this to pass CE, for instance, with EMC and EMI, it needs to be routed in a certain way. And if you don't do that, you're not going to pass. Yeah. Oh, look, it fits. We can kind of get it in there. No. Okay, so if we now look in the 3D viewer, we don't have the 3D models for those. But something like that, I guess, could fit. And all the other components, we do have the 3D models, I think. Some of these capacitors here and this diode is a bit higher, but not too much. Yeah. Is this what you mean, Gareth? Or what you meant? Sorry, my English is failing. I don't know about that, Greg. Loads of space in the 3D viewer. Loads of space. We have all the space in the world. We got more space than anyone. Our space is the best space. I can't do a Trump, sorry. No, that's not. It's like you have space, but our space is like twice as good space in the same space. No Trump. No. Maybe you should draw the actual box as well. Yeah, that's not an option in KiCad. Or for me. I'll need you guys for that. I can export step files and then you can fit it in the box. But okay, I mean, this isn't too high, but you have to imagine the RJ45 plug here, and this has mating plugs, so yeah. Can I import a 3D model? I guess I can make it a component, which then has a 3D model. Yeah, I guess. That's, yeah. I wish I had been smoking something. No, I don't like smoking, so... oh, actually, we could probably... What? For routing reasons, we could probably do it a bit more like this. So on the right and the left side, it does come... Oh, it shouldn't be there. No, this shouldn't be here. This won't work either because they overhang. Oh, if we do it this way, it might actually. Yeah, we could look at it that next time, maybe. Problem is the ribbon cable needs to go out like this. And if the screw terminal is also there, that's not ideal. So maybe we need to... No, that doesn't fit. In my opinion, I put these relays in here for, you know, because we could. Personally, I'm never going to use those. So we might drop those, but we'll have to see. I mean, button in and outputs, yes. But these relays, not sure. But now it's just, you know, maximizing the space, right? XF1 needs to be... Yes, yes. We tried to find a smaller one, but yeah. Ah, later, Philip, later. Oh, Johnny Bergdahl arrived. He's in for the late show. And we could probably do it like this. And I guess this could be a top-down connector instead of a flat one. It's not a lot of space. Yeah, no, this would be indeed used for switching to 30 volts. But as I said, I'm never going to use that kind of function. For me, it's really a sensor panel, so maybe some button inputs and screen inputs, sensor inputs, mostly inputs, no outputs. So maybe we drop one or both. Right? Yeah. Or we could make it a connector and then put this on a separate PCB, which you could then put in another box next to it, where you could then have that. But they're really big to go on here and really high. Problem is we need to lay out the circuits first, see what everything goes together and how it needs to go together, and then lay that out on the larger PCB, and then we can know where the components need to go. You'd have those wires output as well. Yeah. Yeah, but daughter boards don't solve all problems if the problem is height. Because this, you can't put a daughter board on because there's no space for that to go, right? You can have it hanging on the side, but then, you know, at some point you need to design a solution for a specific problem. And if you have to cut features because of that, it probably makes a better feature by cutting a product sometimes than trying to integrate everything. But yeah. Because I'm not too worried. This will fit, right? Even worst case, we'll make a double layer, so top and bottom layer components. But getting this squeezed into an EU-sized box, that's going to be the biggest challenge. But now that I think about it, we're being a bit anal here. We could probably do it like this. Because the 50 millimeters is really inside of the screw holes. So we could probably do it like this. We don't have to adhere to this circle that much, right? We only need to adhere to it at the screw holes. And we'll have to check that in the end. Let me turn off this fabrication there. We could probably do something. Oh no, it's in the connector. Okay, well, let's ignore that for now. So the same thing we can probably do here. But we'll have to draw it out a little bit better. If we don't take the exact measurements that strictly, which we don't have to, right? Okay, this is probably too much. But this probably would work. Exactly, Michael. This is for mostly a new build solution where you run Ethernet, and if you're running Ethernet, you're probably also doing DC lighting, like with Diff Power I'm designing. Yeah, I don't see a need for those relays, but yeah, we can try and keep them in, but we don't need to be as strict with this circle as I was doing, because the 50 millimeters is only in the middle where the screw holes are, and besides that we have a lot more room probably. So probably something like this. Okay, it does need to go inside of the bigger box. I don't know. Something like this would probably be okay, except that it's crossing here, but we'll figure that out. It's just these sides that have to be exactly 50. And the other parts can probably be a bit bigger. Do you agree with that, Gareth? Yeah, exactly, Michael. That's my whole idea of building this thing. I'm also building the lighting system, so... if the relays go away, you can also get rid of some of the connectors, right? Yeah. This, and this is for the relays. And, well, we can select it on the, if we want to know everything that's for the relays, this is everything that's connected to the relay. So these parts, these parts, yeah, this is all relay stuff. So this stuff and this stuff is all associated to the relays. Yeah, well, the idea is that these only switch the live, and you have neutral and earth somewhere else, and live goes in one and out the other, and this solid state relay cuts the live, right? Yeah, but as I said, I was never a big fan of these. Maybe they could be used for other purposes. I don't know. But yeah, they don't have a lot of usage. I think in the situation this would be used in. But if someone did want to, have it control a light that's coming from a central box or something like that, maybe. But removing just these makes putting all the other stuff in this circle a lot easier, because these are the hardest to deal with. You could also look at maybe finding some smaller relays or something like that, but you can also see that on the original one they used here. Of course, this isn't EU compatible, but these are not solid state, but you can see those taking up like 20 to 30% of the board, and together with the Ethernet socket and these sockets. No, I'm not interested in doing multiple versions. I'll open source it in the end, and if someone else wants to do a version like that, that's fine. I'm only going to make one version, and that's the version I need. And then I'll make 500 or whatever, that's fine. And I don't care if I don't sell those in a year or 1.5 years or whatever. But I need to make a version that's good. That's a good product for the vision I have, because then I know it'll work for others who have the same vision or desire or wish, right? And if you compromise too much by trying to do too much, it'll be a less good product in the end, basically. No PoE. No, yeah, no. Yeah, in the end, it'll have Wi-Fi and even Zigbee. So you could use this as your Zigbee router, because if you just take one and enable the Zigbee and the Ethernet, you don't have to use the Wi-Fi, because you can't use Wi-Fi and Zigbee at the same time. You can have like 10 Zigbee routers in your home. Yeah, so I mean, it needs to be the product I need. And I know that sounds arrogant maybe, but if it's the product I need, I know it'll be good for that exact function, and then there will be others who can also use it for that. So, and I like designing with expandability in mind, so maybe we can put a I2C connector on there or something else small instead of these. Oh wait, I don't have the relay. Instead of these big things here, we could put a small connector, and then someone else could design a small board which then has this stuff on there for their application. That I'm fine with, because that doesn't compromise the primary function of the product. Yeah, but I'd rather have it fit in an EU box somewhat than have the relays. That's basically what I mean. Cool. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, I think we're going to quit this now. We didn't do a lot of KiCad today, sorry. We had lots of discussions. Built-in, but what would you do with the relay? Well, it's multi-purpose, sure. That I agree with. Because it could also do DC, right? Oh, so Greg, the main purpose of this, what we're creating is we have these screens, which are touch screens, 720 by 720, with an integrated ESP32P4 and a C6 for Wi-Fi and Zigbee, a speaker, microphones, Ethernet, SD card, all kinds of stuff, which is great. But we're trying to design a PCB that will go on top of this, which will do PoE and some electrical stuff, so DC-DC conversion and things like that. So we can have a PoE connection to it with Ethernet. And then we're going to have a side PCB, which is going to go in another box next to it, which will have all kinds of sensors like temperature sensors, humidity sensors, movement sensors, millimeter wave sensors, light sensors, some notification lights, things like that. And I want to put like 20 of those in my home. And that's what we're designing. Yeah, I test things. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we can do it differently. We could do a MOSFET. You know, MOSFET is a much smaller component, but then it won't do AC, but it could do DC. So, yeah. Yeah, this is for the new home. Basically, I want one of these or multiple of these sensors in each room to do presence detection, movement detection, sensors, all kinds of crap. And it can act like a home assistant, voice assistant, yeah, because it's a P4. It has dual microphones, so it should be pretty good for that. It even has a speaker. We should try it at some point. I've never actually used it. So, yeah. Right. Let's go to the secret, because the secret was something I was very annoyed with this week, and I kind of fixed. And it has to do with the discussion we had earlier about big tech and greediness and things like that. And, well, the thing is, this week I bought well, it says it right here. I bought a DJI, you can't see anything. I bought a DJI Osmo Pocket 4P because I had the original DJI Osmo Pocket. I believe it's from 2017, I think, so it's like 8 or 9 years old, and it's been a great little camera. And for those who don't know, Osmo Pocket, we're talking about this style of camera, right? So this is a Pocket 3, and I bought a 4P, so it has 2 lenses, and it's the newest thing, and it's basically a small handheld camera instead of these big honking cameras I used to do all this kind of stuff. That's much easier to take with you and move around and do vlog-style videos and things like that, which I want to do again from the build of the house, right? And I bought it partially because it had a great function. It comes with 100 gigabytes of built-in flash storage, so you don't need an SD card, it's built in. You can also add an SD card. And then it has Wi-Fi 6, which can do about 80 megabytes a second or something like that. So you can use the Wi-Fi between the camera and your PC to transfer your footage. And I thought, that is awesome. I need that. So I bought the camera. I waited 1.5 months for it because it wasn't deliverable and whatever. And I can. Yeah, this is much easier to take along. I got the camera. Now, first thing that annoyed me is you can turn on the camera 5 times, and after that, it refuses to turn on unless you register it in the DJI MIMO app. Now, that already is absurd, but okay, sure. And then I was like, okay, now let's download the utility to connect it to my Windows PC so I can download my footage there. Yeah. That doesn't exist. The only way you can use the built-in Wi-Fi, which they advertise with, to transfer your footage is with their phone app. Why would I want to transfer like 100 gigabytes of footage to my phone? I just bought this camera so I don't have to film with my phone. And I want to edit this on my PC, which is like a really powerful computer to edit with. And you can't do that unless you plug in the cable. But then why did I buy this new version, which has all this fancy built-in storage and blah, 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 and Wi-Fi, if I have to plug in the cable anyway, and then I have to plug it into the charger next to that after that. So I got really annoyed by that, and basically I started bitching to my AI, and I found that there is a GitHub repository, this one, which made an Android client for DJI Action Pocket Nano cameras to offload your media to your device wirelessly. So this is still an Android application on your phone. Still doesn't talk to your computer, which is where I need the footage. And transferring it through your phone to your PC is stupid. And using a cable is fine, but then why does it have Wi-Fi at all? So they really want to force you to use their app. And this guy already made a custom application, but one thing he did, and that is awesome, is that he basically published the reverse engineered protocol they use to talk between the camera and their app. And he said, okay, sadly, I don't have a Pocket 4 or 4P, so I don't know if it's going to work on there, blah, blah, blah. But he made a complete documentation of how their protocol works with the cameras he does have, and he completely reverse engineered that whole crap. So I went to Claude, my best friend Claude, and I said, hey, this guy reverse engineered this complete protocol here, and I need this functionality on Windows. So take a look at all his code, take a look at the whole protocol, and I don't care if it takes you a whole day, make it into a Windows app. And of course, there was many more instructions than that, and iterations and things we changed, and troubleshooting and debugging. And it at some point, it talked to the camera directly for like half an hour between my PC and the camera to try and figure out the protocol and all kinds of stuff. In the end, I made this. This is I don't have it on here. This is now a PC application which uses Bluetooth and Wi-Fi from your Windows PC, no app or phone or cables involved. It connects to the camera. It then shows you the thumbnails for your photos or your videos. And with one button, you can transfer it to your PC. It does nice checksumming and logging and things like that. It transfers with like 70, 75 megabytes a second, which is plenty fine for me. And it then offloads it to your PC, and you have a button here you can delete it with. It gets nicely logged. It syncs. It knows what it already transfers and what it didn't if you don't delete it. And yeah, so in an afternoon... So here's like an overview of when it's transferring photos and images and things like that. And you can see how far it's done and the transfer speed and all kinds of crap. So in an afternoon, or let's call it a day, I made a Windows application that for my functionality works perfectly. And somehow DJI can't spare an actual software engineer who knows how to program. I don't know how to program. Well, I kind of understand programming, but I don't program myself. I was able to make this in a day, and DJI can't spare like someone who actually knows what he's doing for a week to make something like this. And this comes back to the earlier discussion we had. It's not that they can't make something like this because they designed the protocol themselves. We had to reverse engineer it. And it's not like they can't make this. They don't want to make this because they want to force you to use their app and register and log everything and train AI on it. I don't know what they want me to do with that. And also in the app, I used it for 2 minutes and I already got 2 pop-ups to buy upgrades and buy extra warranty or buy this. And today they actually announced that they're adding functionality in the app where you can now have your Osmo Pocket directly sync with their cloud storage. I don't want to sync with their cloud storage. I have 200 terabytes of hard disk space here at home, which I directly edit off of using my PC. Why the hell would I want their cloud storage? Yeah, well, because then you're going to pay for it. So now I have a Windows app, which, it has all kinds of settings you can set. Where does it need to go? You can rename files. You can run it as a system tray so that it automatically offloads when the camera comes near to it. All kinds of stuff. And it does some logging, right? And you can see which files transferred when, if they were renamed, destination folder, I blanked that out. The speed that it went, which storage it came from. It can do it from the internal storage or the SD card storage. It has some debugging logs in there for if you need to know more. And well, that's it. I now have the stupid Windows application I was looking for. No accounts, no logins, no paywalls, no crap. I bought this camera. It has Wi-Fi. Put my footage on my PC. That's it. That's all I want. It wasn't able to do that. Now it is. So yeah, I put it in a GitHub repository. So GitHub Intermit.Tech /Osmo offload. It has all the code in there. Again, it's fully generated with Claude. It says it even that it's made by Claude. Yeah, and it now has a nice application. You can download the pre-compiled application, so you don't have to compile it yourself. You can just download the exe file or the setup file if you want, and run it directly. It doesn't even need to be installed. You can just use it as a standalone application. That's it. So I was so annoyed by stupid companies gating their products. They make great hardware, but why then do you make it so hard to use? It's just because they want more money. And that's such a stupid way of going about things. I really, really hate that. Well, I went on a rant for an hour long that I hate that. And yeah, so I did something about that. And there is now a Windows application. As far as I know, this is the first one in the world that does this. DJI will probably come for me because they don't want this to exist, because they want you to use their app, because then they can lock you in and force you to buy and use their crap. I don't like that. I already bought their camera. Leave me alone. De-shitification. Yes. Yes. So yeah, speaking of AI, I couldn't have done this without AI. Then I would have had to hire a programmer because I wouldn't have had the time to learn this. So AI good, AI bad. Well, now something exists because of AI that wouldn't have existed otherwise, and a company would force you to pay for. And now it's free. So AI bad, AI good. It has two sides, right? This allowed me to do something that I wanted to exist, and probably more people will want it to exist, which I couldn't have done without AI. Now, someone who knew programming could have done it, but, that's a whole different discussion we just had. Let me read the comments before I keep talking for an hour. Send it back, dead on arrival, since functionality doesn't work. There used to be some open source software for that. Okay. Oh, I couldn't find it, so... Yeah, so as I said, this is an Osmo Pocket 4P. It's like 600 something bucks. I got the creator bundle. And the quality and, everything else is really good. I like the hardware. As I said, I actually have the original Osmo Pocket too. So, yeah. I'm not the customer it's designed for. Do people like get a camera and then edit 100 gigabytes of footage on their phone? I can't. I mean, I guess I'm a boomer. No, I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen X, I think. I don't know. But I don't even think people do that. They send it off to their editor, who then edits it on a PC or Mac, right? Would probably be easier to port it to Linux because of Android. Well, my thing is written in Python, so it's probably pretty easy to port it to Linux too. The problem is all the connectivity stuff, right? It has to connect with BLE, and then it asks over authenticated BLE to open the Wi-Fi network on the camera, and then your PC has to join that Wi-Fi network, and that's all OS level stuff. That's not in the application itself, but the application needs to talk specific OS stuff to do that. So that on a Mac or a PC or a Linux or whatever, that kind of works differently. So you have to put in those frameworks to do that too, because that's basically what the application does. So yeah, this is fully available on GitHub, and yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading old comments. Yeah, Gareth, I fully realize that. I mean, my brother, he is a full-time freelance programmer, so I have really respect for programming people, and I've mentioned it a few times in the repository and also in my article that this is fully 100% AI vibe coded whatever. But I just want basic functionality, and if I can get there by vibe coding a application for myself, I'll do that. But full honors to actually people who program. But as you said, it would have been weeks, especially because there is no documentation on this protocol. It needs to be reverse engineered. Now, somebody luckily already did that, and I used their work, and of course, reference to that. I actually posted on his GitHub that I made this available, and also did some protocol inspection for the Osmo Pocket 4P, which he himself doesn't have. So I posted back with some protocol information I had Claude extract from the camera, so that he can improve his library again, and blah blah blah. So yeah, so we've been in contact, and he said very cool. So he's probably all fine with that. He just likes, so he just wants people to use it. So yeah, I tried to add to his work with the things he was missing for this specific camera. And, that's kind of how the open source thing works. Together, we can do a whole lot of stuff. Fully agreed, Greg. My Bamboo Lab X1C, a great printer, but it's locked into LAN-only mode permanently, and I'm on the firmware before it needed the cloud stuff, so I can just still talk to it directly over my Ethernet or my Wi-Fi, and I'm going to keep it that way. So, yeah. Oh yeah, no, I didn't see it as a diss, Gareth. I mean, even for programmers, AI is just reality now. I don't think it's going to go away anymore. I just wish the AI companies would be a bit better for the planet and less greedy and less destroying of other markets. But that's, as I said, a different discussion. The functionality Cloud Code and others like it now offer is, well, historically significant, I think. It's my day-to-day. I now just chat and fix, not code. Yeah. I mean, I still think there's value in coding because the AI is not going to think up unique code by itself. It's been fed a lot of unique code, and that's why it's so smart now. But I don't think creating unique things should stop. But recreating the same thing by 1,000 people who then build the same thing in the same way, that, AI will automate. So, yeah. No, I just got really pissed and I wanted functionality they locked off. And I had Claude build my own application for that. So, not sure I'm a Robin Hood. And this is a really simple application, but it does exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah, it's just stupid that it didn't exist. Because if I can build this in a day, DJI with a potent software engineer can build it in a week or 2 weeks or a month. I don't care, but they can build this easily. They designed the protocol themselves. I mean, why isn't there a Windows application to just offload your camera? It's beyond stupid. It's just, they want to force you in their ecosystem and use their app. I don't want to use their app. I just want to come home, turn on my PC, turn on my camera, open my own application, click the button that's right here, transfer new files, wait a few minutes, and then I say, delete the new files, and then I turn my camera off because by that time it's done charging because it wasn't connected to my PC but to the charger, and I can start editing my footage. That's what I want. That's it. It's not that hard. Yeah, Gareth, fully agree. Fully agree there. I mean, it's the same with my PCB hardware design. It's making the right thing for the right problem. And you first have to identify the problem and then identify a good solution for that. And then you have a good product. Foxioneer also works a lot with AI as a software engineer with not being replaced. Basically, I have an army of junior developers, and I can think more architecturally functionality. Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, when building this application, it didn't come out like this to start with. And it didn't have these buttons to start with. And it didn't have these menu items. It didn't have logging. It didn't have blah, blah, blah. So I did like 20 or 25 iterations building on the idea and what it needed to have and how that needed to look, and even having different colors for the photos and the videos. And that's all me, right? That's not the AI who thought of that. That's me who made that, or made the AI do that. But yeah, no, fully agree. Later I test things. Yeah, no, but the two colors in this border is exactly also a me thing. The AI didn't think of that, but I wanted to be able to easily differentiate what was a photo and what was a video. So I told it to give MP4 files a yellow border and JPEG files a greenish border, and then made these buttons and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, I mean, I worked with the AI, and yeah. No, I think we understand each other very well. But and that's what I said. I think AI in that sense is groundbreaking in an historical sense, and it'll allow us to do things we weren't able to do before, or faster, or, I mean, it allowed me to do something I wasn't able to do before, right? And then I would have just been stuck with hardware that could do it, but no software, because the company who makes the both refuses to do that. Yeah. Anyway. So that's the secret of the day. I made a Windows application to download the footage off your camera and save it on your PC or your NAS or whatever, right? And it's so stupid it doesn't exist, but yeah. Oh, I find time for that too. Don't worry, Greg. But I work a lot. I do work a lot. But basically this work has also been my hobby, so I don't always see it as work. Some stuff like taxes and all kinds of other crap that has to be done, but there's fun and less fun parts in the work, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. It's you still have to watch out for it a little bit, Gareth, but because otherwise you'll only be working, and that's also not good. And sometimes stopping the work, doing something else, and then starting it again can give you better insights. But it's a bit of a balance. Yeah. No, sure. Fully agree there, Foxionaire, but as a little tool to offload your footage open sourced on GitHub, I think it's perfect. Okay, I think we're going to call it there today. Lots of discussions also about the product and how we're going to fit it into a box and stuff like that. I think that's been really good. I think the conclusion is we'll try and make it EU compatible, as we'll call it, and then still mostly design it around the 86 form factor the display itself is. And we'll work on that. I think that's a good design decision. And if the relays have to go to make it EU compatible, I'd rather have it EU compatible with a build-up 3D printable box, whatever, than have the relays in there. But we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. No, I don't know, Greg. I don't know, Greg. We'll see. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for all the discussions, and see you next time. Bye-bye.